YouTube, what the Total War Rome 2 crap is going on? HeirofCarthage here. And yes, I'm back with another Blademaster pet. Oh man, he's playing as Lusitani. And look who he's playing too, folks. THFE Oakley High Def. He runs the THFE Productions channel. Neat guy, and I will... Well, nah, can't say anything yet. Ooh, suspense. So Blademaster is, Lusitani is like his go-to faction on Rome 2, or at least it used to be. It seems like maybe Bactria is his. And some of you are like, Air, how come you're not showing your replays? I'm going to keep bringing you more replays. I like to throw in other people's replays from time to time. Blademaster is particularly good at coming up with interesting contents. That's why you've seen a lot of his. Many others of you have sent me replay files. I've been very busy this last week and a half, and I have not gotten to look at them yet. I do appreciate you sending them. I will try to get a look at them this week, and maybe that'll give me a chance to build up some of my own battles if I show some of these others. But like I said, I've got to review them and take a look at them. Though I feel pretty safe with Blademaster. I just play these things without even watching them. I have not seen this replay. He says it's good, and I think we all know that if Blademaster says it's good, it's going to be good. Now, Lusitani versus Carthage is an interesting matchup, and let's talk about it just a little bit before we jump in. Let's throw Carthage over here. And the reason is because both of these are kind of like mid-tier factions, and each have strengths that the other would not particularly like. In my mind, we'll see though. Lusitani have Lusitani nobles, which is a great unit for the price, versus Carthage. These guys are going to be very deadly to the Carthaginians. And one thing that makes the Lusitani very unique is they have, now a lot of people have precursors in Rome too. The Lusitani have crap loads of precursors. These Iberian swords, which would otherwise be pretty crappy units, have 5 Soliferum javelins. Very good at helping to cut down cavalry, elephants, and chariots. The problem for the Lusitani is that their men are weak to skirmishers, but they are very good at stopping elephants and chariots, elephants being one of the main killing powers that Carthage has in their favor. So Lusitani in general, low armor, high attack, lots of javelins. That's kind of the basic notion of the Lusitani faction. Their melee cavalry is limited to Scutari and Iberian Cav. Just kind of a quick rundown. Now Carthage has a little more faction variety to it. However, Carthage does not have a super effective mid-tier infantry, kind of like the Lusitani do in the veteran shield warrior, and their high-tier infantry, the noble fighter, would lose to a Lusitani noble at more cost. Carthage does have access to highly armored units like these Hoplites here. They also have access to pikes. They have access to just as good as skirmishers as the Lusitani, and they have a slightly better melee cavalry variety, though they are very similar. Carthaginian Cav is pretty good, and they also have access to mercenary Scutari. And they have access to elephants, of course. So an interesting matchup, to say the least. Carthage is going to struggle with the Lusitani unless they can gain a skirmish superiority, or unless they can somehow get rid of the many javelins that the Lusitani have in order to use elephants, and it is just difficult to do. So I'm very interested to see how this turns out. Like I said, if Blademaster says it's good, it ought to be good. So ammonium? That sounds like a place that doesn't smell so good. Jeez, ammonium. Yikes. Like ammonium nitrate or something? Anyway, let's take a look at the army. So Blademaster again is the yellow here, the Lusitani player. Let's see. He's got 2 Lusitani nobles that I can see, and flanking, or no, 3. Holy crap, that's a strong front line. 2 veteran shield warriors. He's got 2 Iberian swords on each flank with 4 Scutari Cav in total. Cantabrian Cav up front, and a Lusitani guerrilla unit right in the center. So Blademaster has gone heavy on really good swords and had to cut elsewhere. Let's see, Oakley is sporting a Balearic slinger in the center and 1 on each flank. He's got an Iberian Cav here. Late Libyan Hoplite on each flank. His center line is going to be 2 Carthaginian hoplites. And let's see here, we got a mercenary Samnite, 3 Libyans in the center, another Libyan infantry out here, and a Carthaginian hoplite. So interesting to bring these spears here for Oakley, and he has gone very cavalry light here in order to bring more infantry. So all he has is 2 mercenary Iberians and a mercenary Scutari. However, he does have a couple of late Libyan hoplites. These units could be potentially useful. I like the build that Blademaster has, but these Balearic Slingers are going to be trouble for Blademaster. These guys can kill a lot of Lusitani nobles and do so very, very quickly. Oh, Blademaster has Balearic Slingers too. Totally missed these guys in the first run. Well, never mind. So that would explain why Blademaster had so few infantry in total. So, alright. So it's going to be an even skirmish fight, roughly. Let's see how this turns out. You can see the battle timer down here. It's a pretty long battle. It's 16 minutes. Let's see which player does better on the skirmishing. These Lusitani guerrillas are an expensive unit to be a throwaway unit. They are 400 talents. That's one of the main drawbacks for the Lusitani. If those Lusitani guerrillas were cheaper, like 300, the Lusitani would be even more powerful. Here comes some Iberian Cav on what looks like kind of a suicide mission here. Though I think they're going to pull back. We've got Balearic Slingers firing in. The Scutari Cav took some pain there from the Balearic Slingers. And it looks like they're playing in huge settings. Oh, right here, Blade's going to take it from these Iberian Cav. This is bad. Iberian Cav excel at this kind of thing. Excellent use of them by Oakley. They will pay for themselves very quickly in this fight. All they have to do is kill one of the Balearic Slingers, and they have practically done that at this point because they've killed so many of them and pinned them down to where now Oakley's Balearic Slingers are going to be getting great shots into this blob. So great sacrifice of the Iberian Cav here. Look at that, 62 kills on the Iberian or on the Balearic Slingers, and it's because Iberian Cav comes with a punishing attack, despite the fact that it has like no armor or anything else. Its attack stat is very high, so unarmored units will die very quickly to the Falcata armed Iberian cavalry. But again, beware of their armor. If you get them into a heavier skirmish unit without a great charge, they can die. And be very careful of the archers who carry the two-handed spears as well with the Iberian Cav. But otherwise, you will find them to be quite well suited for hitting light units, just like they did here. So Blademaster is going to start pushing, and now the Balearic Slingers of Oakley are going to show just how fearsome they are. You can see here these guys hurling some shots across the field at Blademaster's men. These guys have a lot of ammo. They can fire very quickly, and they will get a considerable number of kills if allowed to. Blademaster getting kind of cheeky here, unloading some javelins onto the Balearic Slingers of Oakley, and it looks like we're getting some focus fire here, so Blademaster is going to make up some of his losses. The Iberian swordsmen coming in here, throwing javelins, pushing back the Balearic Slingers. Great use of them by Blademaster. He's going to have to be careful of these Libyan infantry, though. And over here, this Balearic Slinger is not firing currently. Looks like they're about to begin to. So Oakley's going to start wheeling some stones in here against the Iberian swordsmen. They will kill them very quickly, though probably not the best target. He probably wants to target that Lusitani noble. A little bit of cat and mouse here between the Carthaginian hoplites and the Iberian swordsmen. The hoplites can tank out quite a few slingshots, though Balearic Slingers will kill them over time. This is not Attila, where you can basically get like 100% missile block from going into spear wall, or shield wall. Balearic Slingers will chip away and kill you over time on Rome 2. Some units will last better than others, but you can see this Libyan infantry just got unloaded on by javelins in the back, and that's where these Iberian swordsmen are going to show their value. Really chewing up a more expensive unit just with their Soliferum javelins. You can see that means solid iron. So there's their solid iron javelins that they're throwing. They do not have better stats, unfortunately. I was kind of disappointed that the Soliferum javelins didn't have similar stats to the Roman Pila, since they would have been similar in nature. Though the Romans had the heavy wooden backing on it, the iron would have been heavy as well. Would have been great for ruining shields. These mercenary noble fighters, ooh, that's a noble fighter, I missed that early too. They would actually tear up that Scutari Cav pretty bad, but they're pulling away from that Lusitani noble, which is probably a smart move. I'm surprised the Scutari Cav didn't attack them in the back. May have been that these spears were nearby. We've got a Carthaginian hoplite here, hold out in the center. It is not in spear wall, and it's holding off a veteran shield warrior, but it is going to be dying quickly, I think. Got a Libyan hoplite holding up an Iberian swordsman. They will do okay, especially in the hoplite wall. Noble fighters managing to get away without taking any substantial losses so far. So kind of a slow engagement to start. This Iberian swordsman got beat out by the Balearic Slingers. Blademaster probably just didn't notice this. So you're getting a lot of kills here on the Balearic Slingers, though again they're using their ammo on a very cheap target. However, the Iberian swordsmen do have lots of javelins and can potentially be a problem. You can see the Iberian swordsmen are actually struggling against the Libyan hoplites. That's because of armor and defense. The Iberian swordsmen have better attack, but because of that hoplite wall and the defense and the armor, they will hold out quite well. The noble fighters are starting to take Balearic slinger fire from the Lusitani. This is definitely not what Oakley wants. These guys are very expensive, and to take this kind of fire from the Balearic slingers is definitely less than optimal. But it looks like he's returning that fire over here onto the Lusitani Balearic slingers. Yep, so these hoplites routed the swordsmen, and now they're going to try and get a few of these Lusitani guerrillas. Here comes another Iberian swordsman from Blade. General's bodyguard moving up for Oakley. Risky business with a lot of javelins around here from the Lusitani, and they do all have a bonus versus cavalry. All precursor javelins in Rome 2 do, to my understanding. Those noble fighters just absolutely tanked out that Carthaginian hoplite. Lusitani noble general taking some fire now from this Balearic slinger. Definitely a good target. Ooh, Oakley thinking about getting a quick charge here, but those Scutari cav would be superior in melee combat to the Carthaginians, and he's got this Cantabrian cav Blademaster does, going to chase him off. Hoplites will be a great shield against that Cantabrian cav. Blademaster losing a Balearic slinger here, and going to lose this one here. Don't know what they're firing at. Looks like the noble fighter, and he's killed 20 of them, so that's good work by Blademaster on working on a dangerous unit. Carthaginian general slammed into the veteran shield warriors, got a few kills. Not bad, 15, pulls out without any losses. You can disengage much better in Rome 2 than you can in Attila. This late Libyan hoplite here really paying dividends. It killed almost 2 units of Iberian swordsmen. Lots of small engagements in this fight. It's been interesting so far. Neither player willing to commit large scale just yet. These Libyan infantry bracing for a charge from the Scutari. Ooh, not going to get braced in time. The Scutari are going to lay a few of them out, but that is only a medium cavalry, not a heavy. It'll do damage, but not as much damage. Still not a bad charge. Killed 9, but Blademaster's struggling to get away from this, so he's going to start taking losses pretty quick. Iberian swordsman is nearly gone. This Balearic slinger has 226 kills and is now going to be able to fire into the shielded flank of the Lusitani noble, but still it's a flank, and the Lusitani nobles don't like that kind of fire anyway. Scutari cav clean behind Oakley here. Let's see, here comes another Scutari cav into an unbraced Libyan infantry. It's going to be a great disruptor, getting kills. Still a very close match. Oakley has more men to lose because most of his troops were infantry rather than cavalry. Ooh, the Cantabrian cav locked onto this Iberian slinger. It wanted a piece of him, but it's not going to get it. Let's see, Lusitani nobles jacking up some kills here. This mercenary noble fighter is getting screwed up by the Lusitani noble. Yikes. Yeah, that is rough. Oh, and now headhunt pop. This Lusitani noble is just going to fry that noble fighter. This is one of the reasons why most people prefer the Lusitani over the Aravaci. The noble fighter is just not good enough for the cost that you get it. If it was a little cheaper, like 1100, 1200, it would be a lot more feasible unit. I think 1100 would be a good price for the noble fighter. Ooh, right here though, this Carthaginian cav getting a nice rear charge on the Lusitani noble. Not getting many kills though, or that's a mercenary Scutari cav. Yeah, not getting hardly any kills, and now it's taking javelins from nearby units. Now it's going to get charged though by a Libyan infantry. It isn't headhunt, it's going to kill that cavalry, but that rear charge is going to definitely cost them. That Libyan infantry is going to get a lot of kills. These veteran shield warriors pulling back from a Libyan infantry shield wall, and these Lusitani nobles for Blade trying to push down the center. There is another Libyan infantry back here though, and they're kind of pushing into a gap where they could potentially get outflanked, and they could still be shot. Mercenary Gallic warrior way back here in the back that I missed earlier. Looks like Oakley's going to lose some slingers, but damage up that Scutari cav pretty badly. These Libyan infantry are really going to do well for themselves because this Lusitani noble is now very tired and did not get a charge. So that's a great use for Libyan infantry. They're really not bad, they're just not great for the price. They're better than thorax swords, but not a lot better, I guess is the best way to place them. So now Oakley piling into this, trying to get surrounding moves. These Iberian swordsmen coming in, but they're not going to hit real hard. Another potential for surrounding, and now Blademaster's just feeling the numbers pinch. as Oakley can throw lots of troops into fights where he's got few troops, good troops, but few. This Libyan infantry's taken out so many kills from that Lusitani noble. It's working out great for Oakley there. Let's see, I don't know if any of the Balearic slingers have any ammo left. Blademaster running out of cavalry at this point. He's got a couple of Scutari cav here and a Cantabrian. Cantabrian trying to get to the Balearic slingers. 248 kills. Now granted, some of them were on relatively cheap infantry. This Lusitani noble is going to rack up some kills here in the center. Rear charge here by Blademaster with a full precursor volley. They're going to get in here and kill so many hoplites it's not even funny. These hoplites are just absolute bait. They're going to get cut apart. So this Lusitani noble already racked up 50 kills in that short time. That is the general for Blademaster. Losing that general would be quite bad. And Blademaster now going to pile on some Libyan infantry while they can't charge. Or no, Oakley is. I thought he was. Ooh, he should. Really should get those guys into that fight, I think. Take out this Balearic slinger unit. This will be a good move here. Get them off the field, because all of Blademaster's cav is way back here. Unloading javelins first. Actually, this is smart. Unloading those javelins. It looks like the Lusitani noble is disengaging to try and get the Carthaginian general. Not a bad idea, because the Libyan infantry was in shield wall, and it will be a relatively cost-free disengagement. The slinger's gone, though, and this Libyan infantry comes in just a little bit late. It's going to actually get countercharged by that Lusitani noble. That one racked up 126 kills for only 4 losses. It's going to be a very close fight. 3 Lusitani nobles still on the field. I would say that this would go in favor of Blademaster at this point. That would be my call. But it's not over for Oakley either. He's got this Gallic warrior, could be great in a rear charge. Mercenary Samnite warriors can tank out a lot of damage. These guys are very tanky, lots of armor, 95 armor, more than a Roman legionary cohort. Their attack is not so good, but they can tank. Carthaginian general's still alive, so possibility still for rear charges. Scutari cav still alive for Blade, though, 2 of them. One of them in pretty good shape. Blade's going to go for these Balearic slingers. They are out of ammo, though. So this is actually just going to work against him, unless he disengages very quickly. Nope, he's taken some pretty bad losses on that Scutari cav. This was probably not worth it, because those guys were out of ammo, though he may not have known that when he made the charge. Losing a Carthaginian hoplite out here for Oakley, but it may come back from the fight if it doesn't shatter there, and that would be super helpful. This Libyan infantry dying to 2 Lusitani nobles, as one would expect. Looks like he probably just charged through the Lusitani guerrilla and is going to try and get into these guys, but Blade sees it and he's going to try and toss javelins. This mercenary Gallic warrior just took a pretty nasty charge from the Scutari cav, which is going to rack up a lot of kills. It's getting tag teamed by the Siberian swordsman, but this veteran shield warrior is going to have some work cut out for it to cut through both these hoplite units. That hoplite did come back, very good for Oakley. Here comes a very nice rear charge. The bodyguard is a heavy cavalry unit, and the Lusitani noble is going to take some casualties from that. Plus it has to disengage from those mercenary Samnite warriors. 44 kills on the bodyguard. If nothing else, he did some important hit point damage. Very close fight here. Libyan infantry are going to get rear charged here by a Lusitani noble. This is going to be very bad for Oakley. This has the makings of a very close, very good battle, which is exactly what Blademaster usually sends. So I'm excited to see how this turns out. Right now, I'm kind of giving a slight edge to Blademaster, but this, like I said, this fight's not quite over for Oakley. I don't think it's going to be hard for him to do this, though not impossible. Blademaster pulling away from these shield wall formations, which he can do with relatively few losses. This mercenary Samnite warrior is now going to take a rear charge from another Lusitani noble, but it is tanking out some damage from this one up front. Again, these guys heavily armored, very defensive, not so great on offense, but again, you can see here, actually the Samnite warrior doesn't have shield wall. That's too bad. These guys would be really good if they gave it to him. Still tanking out a considerable amount of damage. Blademaster with battle rhythm and headhunt. Theoretically, he would have second wind. The Carthaginian general down to 9 men. Let's see if the general is not dead, though. but he could be if he doesn't watch out for that Scutari Cav. Libyan infantry here is going to charge down the Scutari Cav, but it's got Lusitani nobles in pursuit. Carthaginian general is actually leading these cavalry away from the fight, which is good. The Lusitani noble is going to get rear charged here by a late Libyan hoplite. Rear charge incoming on the Samnite warriors who just got battle rhythm. They're going to need that. Definitely helps their attack considerably there. And they're actually going to get a few more kills because of it. It just ran out though. Those Samnite warriors are in rough shape. If this Lusitani noble dies though, that's going to be rough for Blademaster. Let's see, Carthaginian hoplite. Ooh, that veteran shield warrior is going to be hard to overcome. Yeah, this is looking pretty rough for Oakley at this point, in my opinion. No more skirmishers. Yeah, no more skirmishers for Oakley. Cavalry not there. Let's see. Lusitani noble general cranking out a lot of kills. The Samnite warrior is struggling. The Scutari Cav using frenzied charge, trying to catch the Carthaginian general, and it does. And so, nice use of that frenzied charge by Blademaster. The Carthaginian general is gone, and that has got to be it at this point for the for Oakley. It was a well-played game by both players, but the Lusitani here able to use that sword superiority to gain the victory. So, good game to both players. Fairly close one. Both these Lusitani nobles almost dead. Blademaster was able to pull off the win there. It's definitely a fun one to watch. It shows as a Pyrrhic victory there for Blademaster. He did win. And it almost worked out for him. I think that these Carthaginian hoplites may have been better replaced, maybe with more sword infantry or something. I'm just trying to think. The hoplites did not. I mean, some of them. This one got a decent number of kills, and this late Libyan did well too. I agree with the late Libyans. They're great units, but I'm trying to think what might be a better option here, because probably just more Libyan infantry. Replace these three with more Libyans. And I would really actually quite like this build for trying to take down Lusitani, because you just have more men and more armor. But I mean, if you look here, this veteran shield warrior, man, they raked it up. 240 kills, 324 here on this Lusitani noble. These guys are absolutely deadly to any of the infantry the Carthaginians can do. Now, the mercenary Balearic Slinger is very nice performance numbers-wise, but remember one of those killed 2 Iberian infantry? So barely paying for itself even with both those, but that does take a lot of javelins off the field. Those javelins can screw you up whenever they outflank you or get into your cavalry. So just to give you an example of the usefulness of the javelin, well, I'll do it another time. I'll show you some of their usefulness. This video is quite long enough, but hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you, Blademaster, for sending it in. Great game between you and Oakley, and I will be back with more Rome 2 action soon. HeirofCarthage signing off.